The germ of creation of Longwood Garden fountains was found in the great fountains in the Court of Honor at Chicago Exposition. These were the words of Pierre S. Dupont, the founder of Longwood Gardens. Imagine if you were in Pierre's shoes at the Court of Honor in Chicago, a large pool with gallons of water gushing in from all sides. It is a demonstration to explore the power of hydraulics. Pierre later said, "I could have remained all day besides this pool in the machinery hall." I have done extensive research, through of all which I've found on the Longwood Gardens website. I'm here today to take you through the birthing, expansion, and future of this spectacular sanctuary. Pierre was born in 1870 in Williamton, Delaware. At age 23, Pierre went to the World Columbian Exposition in Chicago. He was inspired by the power and beauty of the hydraulics. Hydraulics is a branch of science concerned with the conveyance of liquids through pipes and canals. In 1906, he bought 202 acres primarily to save a historical arboretum from being sold for lumber. What will be known as Longwood Gardens has been born, and Pierre starts to work on the main fountains. Pierre is also a gardener at heart. In construction of the fountains, Pierre said, "The fountains themselves are of simple design. It is the landscape effect that adds to the total bill." In 1907, Pierre added a 600-foot long garden walk, and remains to this day one of Longwood's most popular gardens. But Pierre was only getting started. In 1916, he began work on an indoor conservatory, which opened in 1921. From 1925 to 1927, Pierre constructed an Italian water garden. It consisted of 600 jets jetting into 6 pools. In 1946 to 1956, Pierre worked hard to make this from a private affair to a public one, but he did not finish his work, and he died at age 84. His legacy continues to inspire many fountain gardens, which leads us to where we stand here today. The new fountains, as you see over here, it will be a 5-acre collaboration fountains inspired by the great fountains in Europe. It is known as an engineer's garden. I'm going to give you some of the research that I found on this project. 50% of the overall project is in fact underground. The upper canal tank stores water from the upper canals while it's not flowing into the rest of the fountains. They can store water away from the upper canal and the lower canals during the cold winter seasons, so they can operate certain parts of the different canals during the seasons. There is tons of tunnels. There will be about 1,400 linear feet of underground tunnels. This will allow access for technicians and engineers to operate them and to access them without interrupting the public. Some of the technology and speculations include an electrical distribution room. This will allow 13,200 volts to enter, and then it will be dumbed down to 480 to operate the pumps and 120 to operate the lights and the music. They will be using something called geothermal wells, and these will keep the water far down in the ground, and this keeps the water at room temperature so that it doesn't freeze during the winter season. The project requires 9,000 cubic yards of cement and 51 tons of copper wire. If you know anything about copper wire, it's really expensive. They can store 338,570 gallons of water in underground storage tanks. They will be installing 5 miles of fountain piping and 1,719 jets powered by 68 pumps. Just like the 19th and 20th century European gardens, the main fountains will mostly be using gravity systems to move and power them. Today I've told you the history that inspired Pierre and how it brought about where we are standing here today. I hope that you are able to look onto this beautiful gardens with a new light, knowing where it has come. Let this inspire your imagination and remind you that, like Pierre, to do the things in which you love. Thank you. Is there any questions or comments? Yeah, Jeff.
Who's paying for all this?
Who's paying for all this? Probably the tickets you paid for today. Okay,
will they be using any of the hydroelectrics to create energy also, like for?
Yeah, so they're going to be using a lot more pumps, but they're going to be smaller, and that will allow for a more efficient flow and efficient energy savings. Grandma.
When will the project be finished?
In this next year. Yeah, so 2017.